I feel broken as a startup founder. I started my serious entrepreneurship journey 7 years ago in 2018. I built 7 businesses. All of them failed except for the last one, which I saw as an okayish business, but it left me broken, frustrated, and burned out. I had a brutal co-founder breakup due to conflict. Then I started again with new co-founders, but due to my self-sabotage and burnout, it led nowhere, and I exited the business at 3K MRR. What's that? I'm not sure what that means. I feel bad that all my startup friends are doing good in life. Some go to YC. My co-founders has when I checked 25,000 MRR business. What's MRR?
I don't know. I'm trying to read. One got into YC. My co-founder has, when I last checked, 25K MRR business.
I'm not sure what that means. Monthly return revenue.
Oh,
that's what it is. Monthly return revenue or monthly revenue returns. Yeah. So it's basically a subscription business. While my other co-founder is also doing good with new startups here and there. I'm still struggling without any solid business in hand. I launched a new SaaS-based AI agent, but it's not getting the traction I'd hoped for. The past 7 years, my social and financial life took a toll. I never did a good job, so I didn't have any extra money to do some fun stuff. Just good handmade food. I also don't have a girlfriend. I thought I would get distracted. And honestly, I don't have spare time. My family relationship is good because I live with my parents, but my social life sucks. Startup journey has been brutally hard with me, and I just feel sorry for myself. I'm 26, by the way. Why me? Everyone is getting successful, but I'm getting failure after failure despite doing entrepreneurship full time, and it's been 7 years. I can't sleep at night. That's why I'm sharing this post. Wow, dude, that's so 26. Wow, that's crazy. So you started when you were 19. All right. So, I mean, there's so much to unpack that we don't even know about here, right? We don't know what the businesses were.
I'll tell him.
Oh, please.
Yeah, just quit.
Do you think it's over?
Just quit.
I think he's given up.
That's what it's sounding like, right? Like he is. I don't want to sound self-pity, but it's self-pity, right? And I'm gonna be the asshole with this one. The fact that your two co-founders have been able to get things up and running and you haven't,
it could have been you,
means that the missing element that you don't have came from the two of them. So you need to take a good, long, hard look at yourself and say, okay, what did they bring to the table that I don't have? And until you figure that out, you're probably going to be stuck in whatever hamster wheel you're in now.
Yeah.
But this is, and when I said quit, by the way, I wasn't being serious.
Well, no, you kind of are, because
you got to stop and look at why are they successful and you're not. Yeah. They brought something to the table that you didn't have.
Or you weren't willing to do.
Yeah. So until you're willing to look at the two of them, and rather than looking at them with envy, look at them with what are they doing that I'm not? What is the difference between them becoming successful and me being stuck, running the hamster wheel, not making any money? Yeah. And that, unfortunately, this is not the first time something like this has happened, where I've seen, do you remember what the hell is the name of the show? I forget what the name of the show is, right? There's a guy in New Jersey that had an ice cream place, an ice cream factory.
All right.
And he had a partner, and he wanted to do certain things, and the partner wanted to do other things. And they were talking to him because it was a guy that was looking to invest in his business. And he goes, well, so you had a partner that wanted to do things differently. You did things your way, and you're now like $1 million ice cream manufacturer in New Jersey. He's like, do you mind if I ask where your partner went? And he goes, yeah, he founded Häagen-Dazs. Right?
Right.
So at some point you got to go, I wonder if the partner brought something to the table that you didn't have, because you're still stuck being a local New Jersey ice cream manufacturer, and meanwhile your partner is Häagen-Dazs.
And there's nothing wrong with that situation. No. There's nothing wrong with you make a decision, they make a decision, turns out they were right. Okay, Great.
Perfect.
You've learned, maybe you've learned some, maybe your decision was a good decision. It just wasn't the right decision, right? There's all kinds of reasons why it just didn't work for you as well as it did for the other person.
Yeah.
So what? Don't envy them.
Go learn.
Go learn, right? Try to figure out what is it about what they did that was so much different than what you wanted to do and why it worked for them.
It's like Sappos. Do you know Sappos?
Of course.
Okay.
The shoe company. Yeah.
Don't ever call them a shoe company because they're not.
They're not a shoe company. I've heard this before. They're a shoe company.
They're not a shoe company.
They sell shoes.
Correct. They sell shoes, but they're not a shoe company, right? And that was the thing that blew my mind because I literally just referenced them last week, right? Sappos was set up to be a service company. Service 1, 2, and 3. What they then decided to sell was shoes, right? But once you are a service company first, you can sell whatever you want, right? Because your entire business is built around providing service. You want to be the best at the service thing. So what you plug into that now becomes irrelevant because you're always going to be the best service company. So this could be a mindset thing, right? Like well, I provide the best AI bot. Okay. Do you provide the best implementation of that AI bot?
Is it easy for people to use? Right.
Because that could be the difference between why they made it and you didn't, is they could have an inferior product that's easier to implement while you have a better product that people don't know how to use. Right?
It could be that you know how to make the product, but you don't know how to sell the product.
Correct.
Maybe they can sell the product.
You don't know how to...
just hired somebody else to make it for them.
Correct.
Have you hired someone to sell for you? Right?
Right.
Have you looked at the variables, the differences between you and them to see what is it that they do that you don't do?
Because there's obviously something. If the three of you had something successful together, you split up and 66% of you went on to do good things, right? Like, let's use the PayPal Mafia, for example.
By all means.
Right? Like, who was in the original PayPal Mafia?
Well, Elon,
Peter Thiel.
That's right, Peter Thiel. Why do I always forget about Peter Thiel?
Right? Has Peter Thiel done a thing or two since then?
Just not really, not that much. Sitting around the house doing nothing.
Part of the PayPal Mafia was part of setting up LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yelp. One of them went on to be, I think, the CEO of Reddit.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, that's right. Yep.
They own investment funds. They own hedge funds, I think. So like you have 12 or 14 people that are involved in some way in almost everything you look at on a daily basis, right? So obviously them as a core were like, they learned something while they were at PayPal and they learned from one another so that everybody was able to go out and then do their own thing on different levels, right? Like I'm not going to compare Peter Thiel to the guy that set up a professional social network. Right. And I'm not going to compare the CEO of...
Are you afraid to say his name?
Who?
The professional social network?
No. That's the guy that was involved in LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I forget what his name is.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that. No. You know, that guy. No. He who shall not be named.
No, I just forget what his name is. But the guy that was basically, I think he was the co-founder of LinkedIn, right? And I'm not going to compare the guy that decided to get involved, be the CEO of Reddit versus Elon Musk.
Reid Hoffman.
Right? Yeah, Reid Hoffman.
If only there were a way to find out.
I know. Right? But every single one of those people have now gone into a direction that they were really strong in, right? Like, can we agree that Reddit is a pretty dominant force now? Right.
I mean, I use it every once in a while.
LinkedIn is a pretty but they all took different roles.
Their spaces.
Correct. But they all had different strengths, right? Yeah. So the guy that took over as CEO of Reddit may not have had the programming experience to go in and co-found LinkedIn. Look up. He wasn't a founder in Reddit.
Oh, he wasn't?
No.
Maybe it's the current CEO?
I think it was. If you look up PayPal Mafia, you'll get a list of them and what they did.
No, he definitely was. This guy wasn't even alive when
no.
PayPal came out.
No. You'll get the list of who they are. Right? So members, Peter Thiel.
Wow, there's a lot there.
Right? But if you look at YouTube,
Yeah.
One of them co-founded YouTube, right? Like, so what's interesting is when you go through this list, they are a combination of tech guys, management guys, operations.
This guy here,
Yep.
Ishan Wang, became the CEO of Reddit.
Yep.
He was an engineering manager at PayPal.
Yes, right? So like they all had different skill sets, but those skill set became valuable to someone else. They all learned something. I don't want to say like they stayed in their lane, but they definitely, everybody had a different expertise, which is what made PayPal hugely successful. And when they split up, they all pursued something that was right up their alley, right? Like I don't think Peter Thiel ever would have gotten involved in Tesla.
Right.
Right? Like not his thing.
Not interested in it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the same thing with this guy is just because you were good as a trio doesn't mean that you were good as a solo artist.
Yeah.
You have to rediscover yourself and what makes you good as a solo artist. Like what is your genre, so to speak, right? Because how many brands have broken up where we loved them as a band and then their solo career, you're like,
terrible.
Yeah.
Well, Freddie Mercury, for example. Freddie Mercury had a horrible solo career.
Correct.
One of the greatest bands of all time. Terrible solo career.
Ended up going back.
Yeah.
Right, to the band.
Yeah.
But like, so like as much as I'm saying quit, I would say take a break and look at what is the missing element, because obviously it's something.
And you must be truthful to yourself. You must not lie to yourself that it can't be me. It can't be me. It's you.
It's you.
You're doing something wrong. And the sooner you acknowledge and accept that fact, and believe me, there's nothing wrong with it.
This is not the breakup speech of it's not you, it's me. No.
It's you.
It's
you, my friend.
It's you, my friend.
So figure out what it is and adjust, learn, grow, and then go out and try it again.
Yes.
Or quit.
Yes.
If you're not willing to do it, then
if you're not willing to learn the skill set you're missing, then it's time to quit. If you're not willing to be brutally honest, right? Like we had this conversation the other week where I said I had to be brutally honest when my first business practically went under.
Yeah.
Like where did it go wrong? And it was easy to point fingers and go, "Oh, it was this family member." Or it was at the end of the day, no, it was me. Like that business was my responsibility.
Yep.
I should have known better. I should have been looking at this, right? And I learned that moving forward is ultimately the buck stops here, right? So this is no different. Like I had to find out what my missing skill set was. And I never told you how that ended, by the way.
I don't think so.
I ended up going back to school after that happened.
Okay.
I went back for business and I went and learned about macroeconomics and microeconomics and bookkeeping 101 and, took all business classes. Like I have enough credits to have 2 degrees, but I have no degree because I went to school because I wanted to learn specific things, not because I was pursuing a degree.
Right.
Right. So it was weird when I went back and I learned the basics of bookkeeping and I learned the basics of all this stuff. I was like, if I would have known this, I would have caught this the first month.
Yeah.
Right. But I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know how basic bookkeeping worked.
So,
right?
So we're gonna use that to end this for evening poem 1568. You might think you got nothing out of this. You might think that, it sucks for you, poor me, woe is me. You have 7 years now of experience that people sometimes never get in their entire lives.
Yep.
Okay. As soon as you figure out what this issue is with you as an individual, because it is you, I can promise you that. Once you figure that out and admit to yourself what it is, those 7 years are going to be worth more than anything you can imagine. And you will be on the fast track to taking your next venture and making it successful.
The reality is he's already been through the worst of it.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Like, from this point on, it should be downhill as long as you can figure out what that missing element is.
Just do yourself a favor. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over again. That is the definition of insanity. Yep. When you do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. Whatever you're doing, change it.
Yep.
180-degree shift. Whatever it was. I know.
But in this case, right? This could be a 10-degree shift.
It could be. It could be a small pivot.
Correct. And it could be something so minor that it's actually hard to see, which is what can make it difficult for him. Yeah. But if nobody's there to tell him it's you,
yeah,
right? If everybody goes, It's you, right? If everybody goes, oh, you're just unlucky. Oh, yes, they're so bad. No. It's you. Remember that if you have questions or comments, please drop them below and we will prioritize actually answering the questions on these videos.